I am September Smith, and I am the host of the upcoming, and when I say upcoming, I mean tomorrow, the upcoming Breakthrough with Media Summit that is happening this week from Tuesday to Thursday, June 14th to the 16th. This is going to be a live 3-day virtual event for entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, change makers. We are bringing together for you 20 industry experts to bring all of their expert knowledge and strategy under one virtual roof to help you start leveling up your business, your positioning, and my hope is your life with publicity, PR, paid public speaking, and media exposure like appearances on television, podcasts, radio, magazines, and everything you need to be playing a bigger game. And today, this scheduled live was going to be myself and Venice Johnson, who at this moment is trying to get her laptop booted up so she can get in here and join me. Bit of a tech issue today, but I just want to give you a little bit of background about Venice and why I have her as one of our speakers. In fact, she is the kickoff for the second day of the Breakthrough with Media Summit. And the reason for that is that Venice Johnson is the boldness coach. And I have to be honest and say, and it looks like we've got Venice in here now. I love Venice. Tilt your camera a little bit, love.
I know, I'm turning on my virtual background.
Well, I'll turn you off until you get that on. Venice, as I was saying, is the boldness coach. And the reason that I have her with us for this is because if you're going to be taking that step out of your comfort zone, possibly, and into the world of public speaking or going on television or being a guest on someone's podcast or reaching out to newspapers and magazines and trying to get featured in their publications, it's a bold move on your part, and you're going to need that bold mindset. And the mindset that Venice teaches that she's famous for is the bold, big, and bad mindset. And she teaches professionals, entrepreneurs, and coaches how to use that. Her approach to step into this bigger life for themselves. And while she's there trying to get her background going, I want to bring her in. You got it. How you doing, Venice?
I am fantastic. How are you, September?
Fabulous. It's a day of tech issues, but whatever. So I am so glad that you're going to be with us at the summit because, like I was saying, if you don't have the mindset, if you can't step into this new you with the mindset that got you to where you are now or that has you stuck where you are now, you need that bigger, bolder mindset.
You do. You absolutely do. And you know what, September? A lot of people, when we see famous people that have reached certain plateaus in their career or certain heights in their career, and the first thing we want to know is, well, what did you do? We never ask the question, what was your mindset?
Yeah, no, we don't.
And really, your mindset is that's your foundation for any type of activity that you are doing. Your mindset, it has to first be planted in your mind. And then you take it from your mind, and then you start to develop a thought process around it. And then from the thought process, you start developing actions. And from the actions that you develop, you've got execution. And when you execute, guess what? You get results.
And then you're starting to feel more bold. You realize I can do this.
More bold. Yes, you start to feel like, wow, I could do this. Wow, look what I'm learning. Wow, look at how smart I am. Look at, okay, that didn't work, but let me try this because some of the components did work. So I think it's really important to recognize that we have the ultimate control, of creating the reality that we want to experience. And we have that if we recognize that the mindset is what will shift us into enormous boldness like we have never experienced before.
And or if you don't get the right mindset, keep you where you are and stuck and feeling like this is it, I can't go anywhere.
Listen, we have a mindset one way or the other. So you can either elect and really pay attention to your mindset, or you can just really let it happen and end up where you end up. So
I
when
th-
people say, I always, how did I end up here? Well, perhaps because your mindset wasn't focused on the next level, you were just comfortable where you were.
and or you weren't really paying a whole attention to it because there's a whole lot of inputs out there, like social media and television, our friends and the news. And if that's what's filling your head and you're not thinking about, okay, like, how do I feel about the world? How do I feel about where I am? Where
Yeah.
do I want to go from here? Yeah, you really have to, as you say, be very intentional and pay attention.
You have to be very intentional and pay attention to, just what your mind is thinking. And I'll give a prime example. This morning, I've had technical issues. Don't know why. Today, technology is like, not today, Miss Venice. But my mindset is, oh, yes, today is the day that I am going to complete these tasks. So, I made it up in my mind that I was showing up 100%. I prepared, in advance to show up. And I made sure that things were done to the best of my ability pre the show. And then once it's time to go on, something happens. But guess what? That happens to the best of anybody.
Yeah. It's
But
not
what are you
you. You
thinking?
got to roll with it. Yeah.
You got to roll with it. And so my mindset was like, no, not today. We are going to do this live. We scheduled it. So whatever we need to do is what we're going to do. So I literally moved from one room to the next, moved some technology equipment from one room to the next, on my knees plugging in things.
And I
Restarted computers.
appreciate that.
But
Thank you.
you're so welcome, September. But it starts with the mindset. I had a determination in my mind that things like this happen, but it doesn't mean that I need to stop moving forward.
Yeah. Now, Venice, you are a keynote speaker.
Yes.
You've spoken internationally. You're a brand strategist. You're an author. You work with corporations. Now, that takes a bold mindset to get from where was it that you started from that now sees you doing all these amazing things?
What's really interesting is, I think one of the great things about mindset is having the naivete that I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to try it. And
Mhm.
I really kind of debunked, the traditional things that, that we kind of see in the world. I debunked that you have to have so many certifications, a certain level of education, that you have to work at particular type of companies. You have to come from a specific socioeconomic background. So I debunked all of that, those myths, and or those belief systems that people was just ingraining on me. Because listen, we all get conditioned on how to think, right? That's just,
Absolutely.
everybody gets that conditioning one way or the other. And, but there was something inside of me that the curiosity was so deep. And I was like, I'm curious. I started asking a lot of questions, and then I started to put into action, the answers from those questions. And then I started to see what was revealing itself. And one thing, September, led to another. And I said, I want to try that. And then I would go over and try it. I would talk to people and say, well, how did you get into it? Here's my background. What do you think? What advice would you have? So I really tried a lot of different avenues. But as I was trying those avenues, and I want everyone to know this, as I was trying those avenues, what was important the most was to keep going and to recognize what was
Yep.
working
Mhm.
and to recognize what wasn't working and extract out what wasn't working. And I found that it was a minimal amount of what wasn't working, but it was a greater amount of what was working.
Yes,
And
and
I
don't
just started to
identify
build on
yourself with what's not working. Like, no,
Yeah,
it didn't work. Try something else.
yeah, try something else, but keep going. Keep
Yes.
going. The other part that I learned into getting, so I went into entrepreneurship. I started in entrepreneurship, 26 years now, full-time entrepreneur with no prior formal entrepreneur training. Listen, I had a side hustle. How many people watching today have a side hustle? I had a side hustle, but what I did was I said, how can I turn this to legitimately into a business? And I followed the breadcrumbs, from that side hustle, developing and growing myself. And then I went, into the space of entrepreneurship. I was very green, but something in my mind said, if you can solve this problem, meaning understanding how to be an entrepreneur and all of the workings of that, then you could go on to do great things. So what really drove me the most, and this may be surprising to some of the listeners, what drove me the most was the ability to solve a problem. Because every time I solved the problem, found a piece to the puzzle, I got energized. I felt like, ooh, I found a solution.
Yep.
Okay, let's what else can I do?
Mhm.
And I kept going. And here's the other thing that I'll say too. It's important to surround yourself with people that are positive. It's important to surround yourself with people that can help you to continue to create a focused mindset, because you can find people that want to take you out to party.
Mhm.
You can find people that want to take you off track with all kind of things that have no importance and not in alignment with your goals. And so surrounding myself, and also with the energy of saying, I can really, this is exciting. What else can I do? Those led, into different revenue streams in my business: coaching, speaking, training. I'm leaving this afternoon to go do corporate training, my first in-person corporate training since COVID. Um,
Wow.
I'm going to have my mask too, so we're going to see how that's going to work for 90 minutes. But all of those have led me to opportunities in different corporate spaces. As I mentioned, speaking, coaching, training, international stages. But it all has become from the curiosity of my mindset, and also the ability to say, let me see what I can solve with my talents, and the invitation to continue more.
I love what you said about with each achievement, with each victory, you felt like, whoa, I did it. What else can I do? Because
Yes.
that is very much my hope with this Breakthrough with Media Summit is
Mhm.
that, and also what you said about, I ask people who have done it or who know about it, what did you do? What should I be doing? With the mindset and that, what else can I do? And with the feedback from experts who can help you and tell you what you should be doing, to start making those bold moves and well, let's just try this. You don't have to be, and you probably won't be on Good Morning America first time out the door, but the small steps that are going to get you there, getting into media, getting on stages, little by little, you're growing that with your achievement, but also that bold mindset.
But this summit, Breakthrough with Media Virtual Summit, is the perfect tool, to really help people to peel back the layers. I'm talking about one component, and I think this component is a good base component, a good foundational component.
Oh
But
yeah.
once you get the foundation of your mindset, you then want to be able to hear from experts. You then want to be able to say, Good Morning America or Oprah,
Mhm.
or Entertainment Tonight, or just your local, news show, or your local radio show, even a podcast.
Yep.
You want to be able to tap into resources that, are giving you that insider scoop, that information, and people that you now can connect with. That's the
Absolutely.
other thing. Once you get your mindset right, sometimes it's like, well, where do I find people to connect with? How do I, you know, where do I plug in?
Yes, who do I trust? Who knows? And that was why I put together this summit, because my specialty is helping entrepreneurs, coaches use podcast guesting which is a form of earned media, and to use that to help really grow their business and their marketing. But I know that that's not the only thing you need. You need to know all these other streams and strands of media to turn it into a full media campaign. And I thought, where is there a place where people can go where they can see everything that's available, all the opportunities, all the skill sets, including the mindset that you're going to need,
Mhm.
and pitching and how to speak and how to use speaking to blow your business up in a good way, and getting on TEDx stages and all those things, and then to meet the experts that can actually guide them. I have vetted all the experts that are in this Breakthrough with Media
Yes.
Summit. I looked long and hard. I followed Venice for quite a while. I followed all the other people. If I wasn't already connected, I lurked them for some people as much as a year until I felt like she's the one
Mhm.
or he's the one. There is one guy. So that you can come and you can see what's available. You can see what kind of strikes you as like, I could do that. Or maybe not this year, but maybe I could do it next year. But my first steps will be X, Y, and Z. And then seeing the experts and the tools that are available to you to make that come true. That is why I put this whole summit together. And you
Yeah.
are a part of that. You're foundational, because if you don't have the mindset, you can have all the knowledge, but you need the mindset if you're actually going to take action.
And it's interesting. I'm really happy to be a part of this virtual summit September. So glad that we connected, when we connected. And the other part is to see some of the amazing speakers. You have a TEDx, coach on, in the summit.
Mm-hmm.
I just signed up back in February with the TEDx coach. Had I known,
Oh, oh, oh,
had,
oh, oh.
had I known like 4 months back, right? But the reason I'm saying that is because, an individual listening to the virtual summit may be at a point where they are looking to add TEDx to their resume,
Yeah. And
significantly,
oh,
increase their credibility, to
yeah.
significantly increase their visibility, right?
Yeah.
And so to be able to come to the summit and listen to that, you got somebody doing pitches, teaching you how to do a pitch. Listen, in this market, in this day and age, there are literally tons and tons of opportunities. But as entrepreneurs, or even if you're a solopreneur, you have got to know how to pitch, succinctly
Mm-hmm.
in a short amount of time, because there's so much competition going after the same business that you go after.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can Google pitch coach, you can go on Instagram pitch coach, but here's the reality. You're going to get connected to people that you don't have any experience with, or you connect with people that maybe the person that is not connected to. I mean, there's just so many what ifs that you could miss, the opportunity. So
Mm-hmm.
coming to the summit, we really put people in front row seats, and we're
Yep.
streaming on my Facebook Live. So I see some great comments coming in. And so there are people that are watching Facebook Live from my page. And I hope that my friends and my connections on Facebook, if you're in the solo space, or even if you're in the corporate space and you want to know how to turn up your professional brand, because
Yes.
you may look to be the face of your department, or perhaps you want to get into the media area of your organization, or perhaps you want to, just be able to better support the marketing department or marketing efforts in your company. So
Mm-hmm.
you should be here in this room to really get the nuggets of all that's shared.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, as you're right, there are a number of things in the chat here. If I can show this, we've got it all starts with mindset. I love listening to you speak, Venice. I get so pumped and
Oh,
inspired.
thanks, Rain.
And let's see, we got Stacia Crawford. That's interesting. Stacia is actually going to be one of the speakers at the summit. Stacia is a television producer, just newly retired after 30 years being a network TV producer. She's all about how to get you free media exposure with television. So
Yes.
yeah, Stacia had a side hustle. I think Stacia's side hustle turned into her business,
Yes.
which is helping us all figure out how we're going to get on television. And that's the secret sauce: solve a problem.
Yeah, you got to solve a problem. Otherwise, you become what I call you get into a commodity zone. A commodity zone is then people nickel and dime you for pricing.
Oh,
People will, they'll be confrontational or challenging about your services. They'll want to cherry pick, what you offer because they want to do it their way. But when you learn your secret sauce, then you develop a specialty, and specialties come with a premium price. So Stacy's so proud of her. I was reading part of her story on Facebook, about how she left, 30 something years ago, 30 or 34 years ago, and the business that she has. So yeah, it's really interesting to see what your mindset could shift you.
yes, absolutely. So we are kicking off tomorrow. And we start I want to tell you the breakdown of it so you can see that there's actually a logic to this. We're building on your understanding. So by the end of it, you're going to have almost an encyclopedic knowledge of what it is you should be doing. We're starting with the opportunities. Day one is all about speaking on the stage, virtual speaking with TEDx, getting podcasts, guesting gigs, being on television, and publicity. Day two, once you've seen the opportunities, day two is all about the skill sets that you're going to need. And that was where, as I've said, Venice is kicking it off with that most important skill set, which is your mindset. We're going all through that with the mindset, with how you put your brand story together, with pitching, and we're capping off the day with how to get booked and get rebooked, how to make event producers love you so that they want to have you back again and again and again, all kinds of skill sets. And then day three is services, tools, and resources. So day two, as I said, is kicking off with Venice. And She is going to be there with us to get you in the headspace. And if you want to join us, as you can see, there's the link down below here. We would love to have you. This kicks off tomorrow. If you want to get all groomed down on what you need for speaking engagements, media exposure, PR, publicity, everything that you need to get moving with this stuff, make sure you register and come join us in the private Facebook group, because that is where everything is streaming. And the links are in this post. And I just want to say, Venice, in spite of all of the tech problems that you have had today, you have motored through. You've had a bold, big, bad mindset. No, you will not stop me, technology. And I am so grateful that you were here with me today. And also that you are part of the Breakthrough with Media Summit. I am just truly grateful.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you for your patience, and I'm glad that I was a demonstration of what happens when you have a mindset focused and when you have a mindset determined that you are going to show up no matter what. And I learned some lessons between the rooms of switching the technology. And so that's the other beauty of the mindset, is you learn more about yourself and you discover that you're actually capable of way more than you ever thought that you could be. So I'm just excited to be part of it, kicking off the day. And I'm going to be tuning in and listening to the days that I'm not presenting, because guess what? I am not at the top of my game. I'm not at the pinnacle. So I want to get more information. So I will be in the room with other attendees too.
I am so glad to have you there. Thanks so much for your support. And I can't wait to talk to you on Wednesday morning.
Yep. Thank you. Bye,
Take
everyone.
care.
See you.